Emma's Universe podcast.
Where do we go from here? Where do we go from here?
Emma's Universe podcast.
Where do we go from here? Where do we go from here?
Emma's Universe podcast.
Hello and welcome to Emma's podcast. On our Monday talk, I have to share a story actually that just happened, and it's about setting the boundaries because right now the world is upside down. Everybody swing at everybody left and right, and it needs to stop. Seriously. So I see a lot of hatred coming across social media and people acting in a weird way, making false accusation on other people. And it's like a plague. I made a comment when the situation with Helen arrived, and I was extremely proud to see that the utilization of social media like TikTok was to share the truth. And when I say the truth is being the witness of what the people in the Appalachian went through. Again, misinformation said, oh, well, it was water. No, it was a mudslide. It was a horrifying mudslide that happened. And, houses, people, life, animals got lost in there, including forest and everything else that took it in between. So this made me feel happy to see that, and it's still being utilized actually to share where things are going, what people are doing. To me, it's essential. Okay, you do have the scammers who come along and will try to rip off everybody, so people have done that too. Okay, and for somebody who had to go through the fire of my home, losing my home due to a fire. No, I did not start it, people. So you cannot say, "Oh, it must start a fire." No, I did not. But I understand what the process is, from losing everything to loitering to people trying to take advantage of you in your weakest moment, to charity who will lie to TV, said, "Oh, we got them covered," which was a total lie. Okay, so this multiplied by we were 7 families that I helped. Because I was number 8. So yeah, 7 other families had to endure this at different level. Now multiply this by 150,000 to 170,000 household people. Okay, that is one of the worst thing you can ever experience, and you don't want to experience this, but you're gonna go through it. Okay, so out of this, good came out of it. Truth prevailed. If you're looking at allegedly, I'm gonna use the word allegedly even if I don't feel like it, the Red Cross failed. Those people that take the million did not help and support it. The West Coast did not support it much as well. The entertainment world, the country music, Luke did a great thing by that, raising $25 million, $25 million for to an entire area that covers the Carolinas and the Tennessees. It's what we call it in a pea in a bucket. Basically, it's a little drop, but that helped because it was given to what do you call it? Organization that really rised, that I didn't know existed actually, because I talked about Samaritan Purse. They did it to the chef. I don't remember the name of the thing. And the second harvest, they split the money in 3, which has been great because that helps people. You have people like Cajun Navy group that didn't know existed. because nobody ever talked to them. Those are veterans that helps to go in disasters area and can handle it as well. And you got um, everybody, the regular people from different states who came and felt the calling, which is absolutely phenomenal. Now we're seeing the reverse of it, which is people assume when the change of power came along that the president, when he came on side, people assume, oh, he signed the $1 billion relief. We don't have to help. The reality is the people are still need the help because the money has not been released. We can see the Army Engineers Corps doing, I don't know if it's the Army, but the Engineer Corps coming and helping. There is bigger equipment coming, going through the rivers now, which is essential. You imagine if you're up the hill, everything washed down. Well, where do you think that's gonna go? The houses, the cars, and everything. It's all going down the river. And right now, they're starting with bigger equipment to remove it, which is phenomenal, which is great. In the meantime, you still have scammers coming along, pretending to be such and such, and that exists everywhere, okay? But now it's more at the bigger magnitude because of social media. Social media opened the doors. Before, if you're looking at 9/11, it was people over there in the New York area that was scamming over there, taking money out of funds they shouldn't ever, and people got arrested for it, pretending to be a victim, a family victim. Now the scale is bigger, which is quite sad in one way. But people can be swayed because other people are using names of others. So it's insanity at its worst. The worst part of it is looking at how social media are behaving, between the hatred, between everything going wrong. And it's quite sad in one way to see this. For me, it is very, very sad to see these kind of things. So something interesting happened to me, actually, because I was working with some of the boots on the ground, and one of the boots on the ground started to, I would say, misbehave in a way he was talking, which I did not appreciate it. And I did a TikTok the next day, actually. I did a TikTok yesterday because I need to say this to people. Some people like to create chaos. And the topic for today will be the chaos. Will be the monkey in the circus coming to town. I have noticed when I grew up, actually, so we're going to go backwards before we move back to now. When I was younger, I noticed that one of my sisters loved chaos. If no drama was around, she would create the drama. Okay, it was something, cannot help herself. It was part of who she is. If there is no drama somewhere, life is not good. And you have people who like, life without the drama. It's the drama added to it. We got enough in our current life to add more drama. I don't need a drama. If I need drama, well, let me watch on TV for 5 minutes and get bored after 2.5 minutes watching it, because it's like a monkey in a circus, running around for nothing. And you have to, and I made the distinction when I was a kid. I observed that, and I'm like, hey, this is not, I know who, I could read my sister at a very young age. I'm like, yeah, we are not going into that drama. And it was in high school, it was everywhere at all time. It's like, okay, that's enough. I am not interested of this. This is not the kind of things that I want to repeat over again. And this is how the family unit works. It depends on the parents. It depends on the environment. Some people are more prone to have a tendency to turn everything to drama. Or they want to save the world or the next person and nobody asks them for anything, but that creates drama. Okay? And I love to have my peace. I think the world we're living in is nuts enough to add more to it. So back to now. I received a weird text message from somebody, and it was more an attack or a provocation that did not make any sense to me. I don't know if that person was on drugs, was smoking, was drinking, most likely probably drinking, or both. Who knows? Not my monkey, not my circus. I'm not next to those people. That's what it is. But the way I reacted was, first of all, okay, we got a situation here. Okay, there is people doing weird stuff online. We know that, and I'm not part of it. But okay. And that individual started to continue to try to add to this nonsense. So I put my foot down because I wasn't interested to enter into that monkey and circus situation, especially when you are from a distance, which is interesting because when somebody starts to text you and they don't want to pick up the phone, that's already a red flag because you don't know who is behind the phone at all. Unless I heard the person, I always set a red flag. So it took a few minutes for that person to continue to add, and I responded and made the statement actually that I don't appreciate it to be attacked because it feels like an attack, a provocation. And the person cooled off their jet for 5 minutes, and I continued the conversation until they did it again. And at that point, I stopped everything. I'm just like, okay, I don't know who is behind the keyboard, but I'm going to do what I do best. I'm going to block you across my social media and my phone, because I have no interest to receive a threat from any way, shape, or form. And also, whoever's talking crap, then that's your monkey, that's your business. And I found it interesting, especially when somebody has multiple accounts and they have paranoia. I've been there. I have dealt with people who I think were the cousin of what is his name that passed away in California over there, that on live, what's her name? Oh, I can see his face. It's sad. He passed away at the age of 80 actually. He never Charles Manson. Okay, the intensity and the craziness in their eyes when people go off the deep end, and that's the red flag. Now I could have continued for hours, but I stopped it immediately. What I found it funny is when people start to call on you and say, well, you blocked me on social media, you blah, blah. I'm like, what is wrong with you? And you're telling me you're different, and that's another red flag. You have 2-3 different accounts. Why would you have 2-3 different accounts unless you're doing something fishy? But one thing I'm not going to accept is the bullying, the threats, and the behavior. I have noticed on some of the posts that I have, and I blocked people actually, people like to spew venoms behind the keyboards because they think they can say whatever they want whenever they want it, but they don't have the courage to say that in front of you or pick up the phone and say what they gotta say. Those individuals need to be taught a lesson because it's easy to spread hatred and venom. It's very easy, but when you face people, only little, except Gen X like us, will go up front and tell you what we really think and said it and walk away. Provocation have nothing to do with it. And I'm seeing more, and there is bots in there too, because I do know with social media there is a lot of manipulation and people are being swayed by it. I will encourage people to be less online on social media. I use my social media to pass information from TikTok down to my Facebook in regards of the appellation because no information is being passed through. That's the reason I started last September, the beginning of October, for that reason only. Because information wasn't flowing. And I knew based on my fire and stuff like that, out of sight, out of mind. And those people need help and continuous help right now because it's not resolved. They need food. They still need a place to stay. So there is a lot of bots and fake information coming across. You got the scammers on the top of it. And it's frustrating for the people who are working diligently trying to help their own communities as well. But I found interesting is the human behavior. Because you're unhappy, you're going to start to spew venom. You become part of the problem. The solution is to see how can we resolve this. I don't have time for people who like to waste everybody else's time with their own drama, but they don't want to find a solution. They like to swim into the chaos and stay there. I love solution. You got a problem, you explain your problem, and you see how can we fix this? How can we close the gap? How can we resolve this? Hatred is not a solution. Becoming, I would say, belligerent towards people, putting fake accusation to see how it's going to trigger people. That's not a good thing. And what is interesting is that individual in questions was surprised. Block, block, block. And I'm laughing and I'm like, you must not understand. I don't have time for this because there is wisdom within me who have learned well a long time ago to pick and choose my battles. Yes, pick and choose your battles. Why would you spend energy for somebody who has no intention to stop what they're doing just to get you triggered? And you're going to try to justify over and over and try to prove who you are, when at the end of the day, they don't care because they will still accuse you. When you keep silent, speak louder than words and continue to do what you're doing, knowing you're doing the right thing. Yes, it's frustrating, but is it a solution to go into that monkey and circus? Because I can guarantee the more energy you're wasting, and that applies at work as well, the more you're going to be swallowed into that black hole. Is it worth it? No. I like to share story that what things happen because it's always a test from the universe on how you're behaving. And when you don't behave the way that people expect you to behave, then they're going to try to cast the doubt of, well, you did not fight back, so you are a scammer. You are a fraud. You are this. You are that. No, I'm not. But I'm going to block you because I do not give a crap about you. If you observe people, they're going to show their ego. They're going to show their intention. And for this individual, the only thing he wanted to make sure, I'm helping people, so I want to make sure I'm clean and clear. I don't want any backlash. And I'm like, okay, what is your problem actually? There is no backlash anywhere, but you're more worried about your own reputation. Well, if people knows you, they know you're a good person. What do you have to worry about? I work with individuals across the world, and I don't have to worry about my reputation because I talk the talk and walk the walk. And I'm authentic of who I am. If somebody wants to cast a shadow of doubt, I know truth always prevails sooner or later. I let them do it because I will continue what I'm doing. I'm not wasting my time. And I think it becomes appalling when personal attack happens under the coverted, I am a clean person, than anything else. When people do what they're supposed to do, there should not be anyone casting a judgment on anyone else. But right now, everybody is pointing finger at others for nothing. And it will be good if people mind their own business. Now, it is up to you when you're faced with this kind of attacks or attempt of being in a smear campaign against you. What are you going to do? The hardest part when you claim you're innocent, people will continue to bombard everything. If you don't move, if you stay silent, and continue to do what you do, it will show the truth. The cracks are always there. So think about a situation where you were accused of something. Maybe you were younger, maybe right now. And how did you react? I can guarantee that individual who I think didn't know what to do with me, which was funny. I'm sure he listened to my TikTok under a fake account afterwards for what I said. I don't need to name names. I could care less. But there is one thing that I do is I don't justify who I am. I will clarify what I'm doing for people to know, but I will never respond to attacks because I don't have time to get my temper out of check, because I have a temper like everybody else's. And trust me, few people have seen me extremely angry to the point they were scared, because they realize I have a good side and there is a dark side of me, and you do not want to monkey with that dark side. But understand that smear campaign at work, at home, via social media is not worthy. And like I said, I'm blocking people because I have something else better to do. I don't have time to waste on personal attack, especially when people don't know the intention of others, because they have nothing else better to do than spewing venom, being disrespectful, and jealousy. Ego and jealousy always come in pair. People will not attack you unless you are somebody who's scheming everybody. But I'm talking of people who are doing their job, living their life, minding their own business. Will always be attacked one way or the other to see if somebody can poke the bear. What would you do? This was our podcast for today. Think about it and let me know. I'll talk to you later. Bye now.
Where do we go from here?
Emma's Universe Podcast.
Where do we go from here? Where do we go from here? Where do we go from here?
Emma's Universe Podcast.